Alright everyone, thanks for joining me in another video here for SyllaFX. So in this video, I wanted to go ahead and actually talk about what happened today during the market, during the New York session, and the trade that I took this morning that I shared, uploaded a video earlier for the profits that we made and the how I took the position and why I took the position, and gonna go through that explanation based on the technical analysis that I use. So if you guys like the content on the channel, definitely don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification that way you're notified once new content is available and uploaded. So we are on the TradingView platform right now, and we are looking at the euro dollar on the 15-minute chart. So let's go ahead and go through see what actually happened earlier today. So first we're gonna jump over to the 4-hour chart, and let's see what we had marked up in regards to our major support and resistance levels. So earlier, and this is the beginning of the last Sunday actually, October the 9th, and we had a rejection happen here on a support level on the 4-hour chart. Price came all the way back up. Now this level here was previously drawn based on this, but as you can see, it's pretty much just going right through it as it wants to. So this is the actual level that I'm going to go ahead and actually remove at this point, because it doesn't seem to be holding up or being valid anymore. It may come into play in the future, but for now it doesn't seem to be holding up. So it's just kind of flying through up and down without any hesitation. So we'll go ahead and move down to the hourly chart, and as you can see, the levels are being respected. We got a rejection here off the support level, and then price is staying down below the resistance level at the top based on that 4-hour marking. So now what happened earlier on the euro dollar pair on the 15-minute chart, and this is a trade that I took live this morning. So let's go ahead and actually explain how that trade actually set up and why I took it. So typically when I'm trading either support and resistance, or I'm trading supply and demand. Now, supply and demand is a little bit harder to kind of forecast, especially if you're doing a market analysis for the next sessions coming up, because you kind of have to see that happen as it happens. So you have to see the action, whether you have a sell-off or a lot of buys coming into the market, and then you try to identify your supply and demand levels from there as it's happening live. So it's kind of hard to predict that in the future, but let's go ahead and kind of recap and see what I was looking at this morning prior to the New York session opening for the euro dollar this morning. So what we had is we had a little bit of a rejection happening here, and this is right before, or well, sometime before the New York session. Price came all the way down to this level here and kind of in that support area and gave us a nice rejection candle. So price started going up, and we had a lot of buyers coming in prior to the session opening, mind you. So we have a couple of highs here, high here, and a high here. Now, based on this rejection and the buys that came in, we broke that level and created a new high up here. So once I saw this happening, this is a telltale sign that we're going to have a demand level being set up. So this is where I go in and actually mark up my levels and look for potential entry and see if there's going to be a setup available for me to go ahead and jump in for the move upward in the price. So price broke above this high, created a new high. I set up my demand level down here. And as you can see, price came all the way back in and tapped right into that level. Gave us a couple of rejections. Now the first rejection, I didn't actually take the buy at that time because I was a little bit hesitant of it, because before this, before we got into the 15-minute chart, we did have that major support and resistance level drawn out here that we actually deleted. So I was kind of a little bit hesitant because we were at that level, and I didn't know, it wasn't really convinced that price would continue to go up. So I didn't take it at that time. But once the next 15-hour or the 15-minute candle developed, we had price go right back into that demand level again and gave us a nice rejection again. At that point, I was convinced that we're going to go ahead and move up, at least until to this high here that we previously created prior to the session opening. So on the second rejection candle, after that close, I went ahead and took a buy position and set up my stop loss below the wicks at the bottom of that demand level that was established. So we have a 13 pip stop loss. So typically I'm going for a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. So in this case, I was only aiming for a 1 to 2, which would be 26 pips, because that was right below the high that was previously created here. So within like a half an hour of entering the position, it went right into profit. So an easy trade that I took with on my broker with IG Forex, about a 5 lot size for that trade. So made a roughly about $1,300 off of that one. So successful trade for this morning. Now in that video, I did also explain that I was looking for another entry position at the time that I was making the video. So what I was looking at is price moving up here and breaking this previous high that was created after this high was actually broken, right? So we had another high created here, and when I took that position and we flew past it and actually broke that high here and created upward movement. Now at that time we were only right around this area, so I was hoping that we would get some type of retracement for price to come back down into this zone that I just marked up on the chart. So, and this is where I was going to look for my entry position to jump back into the trade to move up to that major resistance level at the top here. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't always set up. So I had my zone and I was waiting, I was being patient. Price never came back down to it. So we didn't get any signal to go ahead and re-enter the position. So this is all this movement here was pretty much missed. Now, this isn't part of my trading strategy, but let's say if I did take and stayed into that position all the way up to the top of that resistance level, that is easily 66 pips that I could have taken. So instead of that $1,300, that could have been an easy $3,300. But again, that's not part of my trading rules. That's not part of my strategy. Got to stick to it and actually go through what your rules are and stick to them. Basically, to stay consistent, to take profit and get out of the market, wait for the new setup, just like I did before. So in this one, we only made the 26 pips. Well, I say only, but I mean it's still $1,300 off of a 30-minute move. So very well worth it. Unfortunately, the next zone that we had set up didn't make anything of it because price never came down to tap back into it. So we move on and wait for the next setup to happen. So let's see what does happen for the rest of this move here for the euro dollar though. The rest of the evening, price just pushes up, and even goes to the next support level, or the resistance level here. Now, at this point, we're getting a lot of rejection and consolidation happening here. So hopefully, what I'm looking for is either action going upward for buys, or a sell-off to happen here. Maybe around after the Tokyo session starts to happen, which is actually... We're at 8:22 right now, so Tokyo session has started, but I'm probably not going to have anything set up until the London session. I'm likely not going to stay up for that anyways, because that's like 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time for me. But we're going to go ahead and wait and see what price does and see what happens at the New York session. So from here, we're kind of hovering around that main resistance level, the major zone there. We'll see what price does. So if price does end up coming down as a sell-off, then I'll be looking for a supply zone to probably sell and move it down all the way to the support level here, another major zone. If price does continue to push up, hopefully we get some type of a significant push, a lot of buyers volume coming in to buy up. Then I'll have a demand zone set up here to reject off of this major support level. If it breaks above it, it will become a support level. So that's kind of the plan right now, to going into the London session and into the New York session for the morning on the 18th here. But that's all that we had on the euro dollar here. So we didn't take any other trades today on any of the other pairs that I typically monitor. So we'll take a brief look at the US dollar yen. So let's see what we had happen here. So just kind of give a brief view on that, because on none of this we have really any analysis to share, because we didn't actually take any trades on any other pair this morning. So got a major level here on the 4-hour. This could actually be a good major level. Nice rejection there, and another rejection. This is something that I would keep an eye on to see what price does if it does come back into these areas. So let's jump over to the 1 hour, see if there's anything else significant that we could look for. A little bit of consolidation here, but we're still pretty much uptrending the entire time. So what I would be looking for honestly on this is this support level here. If price does make its way back here eventually at some point, and we get confirmations of rejections and the wicks being created for an upward movement, I may be looking for a buy position there, but right now it's too soon to tell. And from what we can tell on the 15-minute chart, not really much of a direction other than up. So hopefully we can get some type of a sell-off happen here, because a nice little sell candle here. So if we can move down a little bit further, might be looking at setting up a supply zone up here to take a sell, but we'll see what develops on that. But that's all that we got for the dollar yen. Let's jump over to the Aussie dollar for a moment. I'm probably only going to analyze these three, the euro dollar, dollar yen, and the Aussie dollar for now. So mostly downtrending on the Aussie dollar, looking at the 4-hour chart. And we got a new level that we can actually get established here. Set that up there. And actually I will move this resistance level to a little bit more recent action. So we got price staying in between these two levels. On the hourly chart, a lot of good movement, and this is actually one that I could have taken. I believe this was this morning. No, that was last week. This is the hour chart. Okay, so that's last week here, because that was a nice setup here. Actually, we had a supply level being set up here, and price came right back in there and sold off like crazy. That would have been a nice move, but I'm pretty sure we missed that one. So down to the 15-minute chart on the Aussie dollar. Let's see what we've got. Upward movement. Nothing really clear. We're not at a major support or resistance level as of yet. Got some nice buys coming in here. This would actually been the zone that I would have marked up if I was watching it. And this was this morning right before New York session opened. So this would have been a demand level, because after the significant buys occurred here that broke this level, I would expect or hope for price to come all the way back down and tap into it. And once I got my rejections showing confirmation that we want to move up, then I would have took a buy at this level here, but we didn't get that, so oh well. As far as the current pricing, I really don't see anything significant that I would be worried about or looking for a position on. We're probably going to pump all the way up to the resistance level up here, and then we'll see what price does from there. Outside of that, there's nothing that significant that I can really tell on this pair as of right now. So we'll wait to see what happens during London session and the New York session. But outside of that, that's all the market analysis I got for tonight for the upcoming London and New York. If you guys do want to keep track of the content and like watching these videos, definitely subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn my technical analysis and learn how I trade and stay consistently profitable, you want to visit SyllaFX.com. And we do have the course available there for you if you want to go ahead and learn the risk management, the psychology, all the basics about Forex trading, and of course the three major trading strategies that I utilize, whether it's support and resistance, supply and demand, and trend trading. And then I do also offer the SyllaFX student group on Discord. You can always sign up for that as well. And there we will actually have our live analysis of the market, live trading, and Q&A sessions with me for answer any of your questions, or I can analyze any of the different currency pairs that you monitor. These are usually the main three that I take a look at. Sometimes I'll take a look at all 6 of these: euro dollar, dollar yen, Aussie dollar, pound yen, and Aussie yen. It just depends on what's going on the first 3 that I typically look at. But outside of that, if you guys got any other questions, definitely comment below or reach out throughout the Discord community, and catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.